Am I audible and visible clearly? Okay. I want everyone to close their eyes, and I love this beginning of the speech, and I'm pretty sure many of them know this style of mine. And yeah, don't sleep. That's it. Close your eyes and just listen to me reading. And I'm not as good as Amazon Kindle and audiobooks, but just do tolerate my hoarse winter Thapar cold voice for just 5-6 minutes. Dropping to his knees and gasping for air as his ribcage strains under a cheap kick as another attacker swings his boot at his cranium. Outnumbered, outfought, and out of breath, he knew that the blackness would engulf his eyes very soon. He tried fighting it, but the numbers were too many and he was no match. A veil, a burning house, his dishonored parents, blasting insults, years of exile, an inferno. He could see it all. Anguished visions flashing before his eyes. He could see the perpetrators now. They stood before him. They were here. The stench of evil was all over the place, and he lay there, taking blow after blow from them. The club swung at his cranium. An arm blocks it. It was his. He rose, the deep gash across his face, but an ornament of his revenge. Sword unsheathed, he leapt at them. He had fulfilled his destiny, he had done it. A lone warrior from the heartland of oppression had now become the emperor of vengeance. A vengeance he died taking as he perished under the multitudes of weapons. Ladies and gentlemen, if I would say that this warrior that I'm talking about was like Superman, who could take any blow, who could vanquish any enemy and defeat everyone and not get injured at all, because he was the god, not of philosophy, not of speaking, not of anything, but the god of everything. None of you would find me interesting, because we as humans love underdogs. We love to see people in pain and fight pain and rise, because this thing is in our psyche, it's within our heart. And some of you might be wondering, which person did I talk about in this paragraph that I just read to you? And it is a story very famous from the Mahabharata of Abhimanyu, which is very famous. And I read this story as a child when I was 5 years old. And when I was 15, 10 years later, I recalled, why on earth did I like that story? My parents never told me to like it. I was never taught to like it, yet I liked it. I felt a connection and I felt inspired by it without having been told to be inspired by it. It was never titled Inspirational Speaker Abhimanyu. Never. Inspirational Warrior Abhimanyu. Never. But still, I was inspired because this person was like us. This person was outnumbered by foes. This person had flaws, had pain, and at the end, he perished, yet he was an underdog. We all love the story of David versus Goliath. We all love the story of a small, unidentified pauper becoming a big billionaire. After all, the term rags to riches is literally all over YouTube. It is the most clickbait title you can ever see. Pauper on the Stambo's popular video, one of Mr. Beast's popular video. And this runs in our blood. And I was caught wondering for a few weeks, why on earth are we so fascinated by these underdogs? And I got one theory for this. And this theory is a German word called Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude literally means our fascination to see people get hurt. And we're wondering, what on earth is Hrishikesh talking? But trust me, Instagram Reels without fails Instagram reels without some guy falling inside a heap of dung. Instagram reels without some driver uh, crashing and parking into the most dumb like places. That wouldn't exist, and we wouldn't be hooked up to reels and TikTok and all of that if these fails didn't exist. And this is literally what is Schadenfreude. Why on earth do we enjoy people getting hurt? And this very system causes us to become and love underdogs. As a famous scientist Goldschmidt's experiments proved, that people loved to see teams or players in sports who began from nowhere come about and bring about upsets. Everyone saw Morocco in FIFA, and people were wild for them, because these very things inspire us, but these very things also create the second theory that the world has given us, and that is, we want the world to be just. A second theory that suggests that why do we fascinated by underdogs is that we see that everyone who spends money shouldn't always be successful. A team that has a lot of a big budget and wins is not as fascinating as a team that was literally collecting funds from here and there and brought about an event and defeated the reigning king. That is a story meant to be true. But finally, I'd like to conclude myself is to there is a limit to underdogs, because at the end of the day, people don't trust underdogs. A research was done where there were two companies given to the participants, and one company was a very company struggling, another company was a very rich company, and they were told to support a company to test drinking water pollution, the pollutants in drinking water. And everyone supported the company that was struggling and wanted to be successful. But when they were told that the very same company would work in their own town, all of them supported the bigger company. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to conclude my speech by saying that be the underdog, but be rich while being the underdog, because at the end of the day, people care about themselves and they won't support you if you're not successful. Thank you very much. Over to the team, Modi.